I think I got into electronic music through, bands like Tangerine Dream and Brian Eno and, even Pink Floyd. So I think that's what led me to messing around with synthesizers and kind of a natural progression to, wanting to acquire them and play with them. I couldn't afford a synthesizer when I was a kid, so I used to rent them. There was a local music store that had some smaller modular synthesizers, and they would rent them to me on Saturday when they closed, but I brought them back Monday morning, so that's where I kind of got my feet wet with it. One of the resources back then was a magazine, I think it was from England, called Electronics and Music Maker. So I used to get that shipped over. It was imported, came in overseas mail, and used to have diagrams in there showing you how to make patches on analog synthesizers, the patch of the month. So I'd take that and you try to do it the best you can. You never had all the modules because it was suited for some guy with some crazy synthesizer, which I don't know how many people even had that, but I used to collect those and use those kind of as a guideline on how to make sounds with modular synthesizers. So when we started seeing like the Prophet 5 and the OB8 coming in, you kind of knew what to do because of that background in modular. I worked at a studio in Toronto in the 80s called Phase 1, and there was a lot of acts coming through there from the US because they had, I think, the only SSL in Canada. So I had a room there, and I was helping one of the guys out that owned the studio. He was the distributor for this PPG equipment, and I think I was the only one with a sampler in the city. So people would be passing through and like, oh, there's this guy in the back that has a sampler. You got to check it out. It's unbelievable. Everyone just wanted to come in and go, but then of course I could play and I could sync all these other devices up. So it just kind of progressed into, working all the time, just by having access to that technology, knowing how to use it. I think the one piece of advice that I would give for anyone who wants to attack engineering, mixing, and production or anything is you just got to be hungry. If you're really hungry and you work really hard and you can find some people that can pass on some knowledge to you, I think that's what it comes down to. I think you have to realize getting into it, it's not going to happen. There's no magic course you can take. There's no book you can read. It's a combination of everything: reading, studying, experimenting, and hopefully getting alongside someone who knows what they're doing, who can pass some knowledge on to you as well. I mean, I think back to some of the guys that I work with as I was coming up. Randy Staub's a good example. I mean, he would be, in the early days, I remember him, engineering during the day and staying up late at night trying to work on his mixing skills. Always working, always trying to get better at it. A-being his mixes, to the mixes of the guy he was working with. I always remember Bob Rock saying, if you really work hard and really put time into it and really want to make it good, it'll be good and it'll be noticed. It's not a 8 or 9 hour a day job and all of a sudden you're going to be good at it.